The visceral fat produces inflammatory products that's responsible for causing cardiovascular disease, diabetes, autoimmune diseases, and many forms of cancer. The reason why we have this problem is because we consume too many calories. And the reason we produce too many calories and produce this visceral fat is because we're eating highly processed foods that contain chemicals that have been added to the food that artificially stimulate dopamine in our brain. And dopamine is the neurochemical that's associated with pleasure. So the more dopamine, the more pleasure. The more dopamine, the better food tastes. That's what tasting good means in food, is that the chemical composition that you're putting in your mouth will efficiently stimulate dopamine production. The chemicals that we add to the food to stimulate dopamine production are sugar, oil, and salt. Sugar, oil, and salt are not food. They are hyperconcentrated byproducts of food that are added to food to stimulate dopamine production in your brain, to make foods taste good. The result of using these chemicals in our feed is the reason why we're overweight. If you take these chemicals and put it into the feed of rats, they'll gain 49% of their body weight in 60 days. If you give it to birds, they'll get so fat they can't fly. It's not psychology that they're getting overweight. It's not because mommy bird didn't love them enough or daddy bird loved them too much. It's because of biology. If you overstimulate the neurochemistry in the brain, the animal, or in our case, the human, will overconsume calories. That's what's happening. That's why 3/4 of people are now overweight or obese. It's called the pleasure trap. Also, the title of our book, Pleasure Trap. So, if we understand what the problem is, it's not surprising for us to learn that 93% of all the calories that are consumed by people in industrialized countries come from either pleasure trap chemicals like oil, salt, sugar, or animal foods, meat, fish, fowl, eggs, and dairy products. Only 7% of calories come from fruits and vegetables. They're essentially the decoration on the plate. They don't even make a statistically significant percentage of the calories of many people eating in industrialized societies. This is how people, for most of our history, ate. Things that looked like that. This is what people are eating in society today. I want you to look really carefully. Do you notice any difference? Can you tell the difference between traditional diets and the modern diets? So what's the solution? Well, first we need to focus on the things that actually matter: diet, sleep, and exercise. So we advocate eating an exclusively whole plant food diet, so whole plant foods, and avoid the chemicals, the salt, oil, and sugar. That would be essentially a vegan, SOS-free diet. We also suggest that you can limit your feeding window by not eating 3 to 4 hours before you go to sleep, and perhaps delaying breakfast till you have a chance to do some vigorous exercise in the morning. You can give yourself a chance to fast every day for 16 hours and feed over an 8-hour window. That limited feeding window is thought to help people avoid some of the overeating and avoid the calories that they might consume at night that more easily converts to fat.
Make the salad the main dish at least once a day. That's the most important message. So in other words, the lunch we serve here at my retreat, and the lunch I recommend people consume, consists of a large salad, and not a 6-inch soup bowl size, but a full 9-inch serving size bowl where you chop up a lot of the salad vegetables. That's half lettuce, at least half lettuce.
And it should be lunch and not dinner?
I try to make this at lunch, where people eat their lunch is a large salad, a bowl of vegetable bean soup, and 1 or 2 pieces of fruit for dessert. That's it. A large salad, a bowl of vegetable bean soup. I find that lunch is the meal. People are out on the town. They're tempted by other foods. I want them to chew it really well and take their time to eat it. I want them to feel sustained through the rest of the day and not be tempted to eat and snack and go back to eating again. And dinner should be something and dinner should be an early and light dinner so you don't go to bed on a full stomach. That's the second most important thing, is don't eat a heavy meal before bedtime. we most effectively heal and repair and detoxify during sleep. And our body's natural self-repair and anti-aging phenomenon is going on best when you're not digesting food simultaneously while you're sleeping. So we try to eat a lighter dinner and eat dinner between like 5 o'clock and finish by 6 o'clock. So you have 4 hours before you go to bed if you go to bed 10 o'clock at night. So you're fully digested your food and not lying on it and have food regurgitating up in your esophagus either. But that salad is the main dish. It's not important that it has to be lunch versus dinner. That's not the important part. But the important part is getting your big salad at least once a day, and you chew it really super well and try to liquefy it with your mouth. And that the dressing for the salad should contain nuts and seeds, not oil. It could be an orange with toasted sesame and cashews and blood orange vinegar. It could be, we can make a Caesar dressing or a Russian dressing, or we can make incredibly delicious dressings. But the hallmark of a nutritarian diet is we substitute nuts and seeds in place of oil. Like I'll make you ice cream for dessert. So I'll blend for ice cream. I'll put in, let's say, a frozen banana, a small handful of macadamia nuts, and some real vanilla bean powder. And I'll mix with a little drop of plant milk, and I'll whip that up and serve you that ice cream. And it'll be delicious ice cream, but there's no sugar in it, and there's no oil in it, and no dairy in it. Or I'll use the seeds and nuts as a source of fat and creaminess and mouthfeel, and to make delicious desserts and dressings and sauces. Or I'll wok vegetables for dinner with Chinese cabbage and mushrooms and onions and snow pea pods and water chestnuts, and with a Thai curry sauce. And maybe the Thai curry sauce may have little hemp seeds and cashews in it with curry and lemongrass paste or lemongrass ground and a date. So we're making all kinds of flavorful sauces and dressings with the nuts and seeds. So that's the second. So this first thing is having that salad as a main dish. Of course, I want people the take home message here is don't be satisfied and don't accept the fact that you have to take drugs for the rest of your life. Here's the pearl, which people aren't going to like this one. It's that I want to give you 100% protection against a cardiovascular event, because the leading cause of death in America are heart attacks and strokes over the age of 60. And you achieve that degree of protection when you have a normal blood pressure without drugs, a normal cholesterol without medication, a normal glucose level without medication, a normal body weight, and normal exercise tolerance. You have to achieve those 5 parameters. You got to get to a normal body weight. So you're a nutritarian when you eat a healthy diet and you're at your normal weight, or you're at a nutritarian when you're eating a healthy diet and you're traveling towards that normal weight a little bit each week. But if you're overweight and you're staying overweight, then you're having an inflammatory process going on, and you're causing insulin resistance. You're activating aromatase and producing too much hormones. And so you, as you start losing weight, all those risk factors immediately start improving. So we want to give people protection, but they have to do the right. So they have to really adopt the whole program and get there and move in that direction and not yo-yo up and down. You have to change to a healthy diet and stay with it for the rest of your life. So you have to take the initiative and persevere in doing the right thing to achieve excellent health. And your taste buds change, and you learn to prefer eating this way once you learn the recipes and you do it for long enough.